Hi, my name is Bailey Palmer, and I will be your instructor for KIN 3307 Medical Terminology for the summer of 2025. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll get started looking at Blackboard and how to get started with this course. Okay, so first is I do have two sections of medical terminology in our first summer session. So it does not matter which section you are in, the DO1 or the DO2. They are mirrored, they are exactly the same. So I'm just going to click on my first one, but whichever one you're in does not matter. So you'll come and you'll see your homepage. And the homepage is most important because it tells us how to register for your terminology lab and get the Pearson e-text. So what you'll do first is you'll click on these two links right here. If I click on these links, it's going to look a little different since I am already registered and have everything already set up. But what I will go to for you is this Pearson registration and help information link. So as we click on this, first thing you'll have is this My Lab Blackboard registration. This 1.5 minute YouTube video is super helpful at getting you registered and started. So you can watch that video on your own, but I also have the steps to registration right here. So if we share, which I think we are sharing to this screen, um, it talks about how My Lab is required. You have to have it because that's really what the entire course is. So it talks about your step to registering. And so please follow these registration steps in order to register and get your text, okay? And get your My Lab link and get kind of everything set up that way. So let's go out of this one and I'll go back to Blackboard. So back here on Blackboard, some other things is you may come across some difficulties, which is normal. I have student troubleshooting handout right here. And then I also have a Pearson technical support if you come across any issues during this entire session with Pearson. So Pearson is going to be our like our resource, our contact. This is who we are using kind of all of our text for, okay? So if we go back to our homepage, um, being sure to register for your terminology lab, all of this. A lot of times when you go through Pearson, you'll have several buttons to click, which is, like open Pearson, and it'll just kind of move you along. This is what it looks like for me, but I already have my text registered. And so your screen may look different, but once you do get completely registered, you'll be able to open the My Lab and the Mastering. And your course homepage will look something like this, which has linked to Blackboard and has all of our assignments, quizzes, and exams, okay? But I'm gonna go back to Blackboard and kind of start from there. So let's see, getting us back to here. Okay, so let's go to course syllabus and schedule. So let's say that you get registered soon, which is what you need to do ASAP, because this semester is going to move very, very quickly. It's a summer session, which means we have about 5 weeks to cover as much material as we would in a 15-week semester. Okay, so you already know that because you registered for a summer course. So let's go ahead and look at our syllabus first. So making sure that we can all see the syllabus. All right. I am available to meet and answer questions via Zoom. So if you cannot send your question to me via email, we can set up a Zoom meeting. We see here that this course starts May 30th and runs through July 2nd. Very quick. Your required material is right here, which you can see. With your required material, it's the ebook. You can have a hard copy if you like hard copies, or just purchase that ebook online. And then your My Terminology connection, your access code that you need to connect with all of the material through Blackboard. So I have another My Lab student registration video, which is probably the same one on Blackboard, and then another kind of registration support link right there. So that's what the kind of majority of our course is. It's through that Pearson. This just talks about other technology requirements and responsibilities that you have to know. Here we get into kind of the learning outcomes. We are talking about a lot of different systems in the body. And with all of these different systems, you're going to understand how to define, spell, pronounce all these different medical terms, and then understand how they're related to different systems in the body, etc. So your method of assessment will be through quizzes, assignments, and exams. You also have some chapter readings, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. We'll look at those pages that you're responsible for. Um, with the chapter readings, this paragraph here is important because, let me see something really fast. I'm going to zoom in. All right. So this paragraph basically says for each chapter below, I do have specific pages sectioned out. You do not have to read the entire chapter, okay? And I don't want you to because it's too much. So for each chapter, you will read and learn the first page called At a Glance. This At a Glance page is just kind of get you started, and it does give you a lot of material that is important for like studying, quizzes, assignments. And then you'll skip to terminology word parts used to build. So you'll skip pages like that talk about kind of they're very ex-phys related, which we don't have to know like ex-phys, like the physiology of these terms. We just have to know like the word parts. Okay. So word parts used to build, that's the next part you have to read. When you get to pathology, diagnostic, therapeutic procedures, pharmacology, you do not have to learn the definition of those words. You just have to understand the word part. So the prefix, the suffix, the combining word, the end word, whatever. You just have to know the parts for it. You don't have to know definitions, okay? You also do not need to learn abbreviations. You can refer to the PowerPoint slides when reading your chapters because I have eliminated several pages already that you do not have to learn. And so the PowerPoints that I'll show you in just a little bit will be kind of your key to looking at the lecture, the book pages. All right, so your assignments, like I said, or your material, it's assignments, quizzes, exams. The assignments are completion, which means you have to do every single assignment, but the grade that you earn on the assignment does not matter as long as you complete it, okay? It will look like a lot of busy work, and it is because you have to learn all of these different word parts, and the quizzes and exams are for a grade. You can see the assignments are worth 200 points total. But like I said, they're just completion. You have to do them. So yes, I will talk about those in just a little bit. We'll talk about those due dates as well. Quizzes. They're 10 timed quizzes. And they'll cover spelling, composition, defining medical or scientific terms related to kinesiology by knowing like the prefix, suffix words itself. They will be available for completion the first day the topic is open till when it closes, which will be listed in the schedule. Your responsibility to complete all of those by the due date, all right? Let's see. Exams. There are 3 timed exams. You get 60 minutes. They're each worth 100 points and they're worth 50 questions, 100 points, 60 minutes to complete. They are not comprehensive. Exam 1 and 2 will be available take from 7 a.m. to noon. Okay. That is a small window. So 7 a.m. to noon is when you get to take exam 1 and 2. The final exam, you get an entire 24-hour window. Okay. So we'll look at the dates listed below here in a second. Quizzes, like I said, there's 10 of them, 20 points. Same thing with the assignments. There's more than like 10 actual assignments, but there are 10 chapters. And so with those 10 chapters, each completion assignment for like the bulk that you do for each chapter worth 20 points. And so I will be able to see that you completed all the assignments. Does not matter what the grade was. You just have to complete it and you get your 20 points. And then the exams graded 100 points each for that total of 700 points for this course. Academic integrity policy, you are a kinesiology student, so you probably are already familiar with what our department's policy is. Syllabus statements, and then here is our schedule, okay? So this is the hard part, is being on your toes constantly when going through this material, because if you see the first day of class, 5:30, well, all your material is due on 6/1 for this first chapter. I know, I hate that. I'm so sorry. You basically have 2 days to do it. I don't know why tech started on a Friday, but that's just how it is. So, set up in our syllabus, set up with MyLab, read through the syllabus, and then you will start chapter 1, Introduction to Medical Terminology, and you will complete all the chapter 1 material, which are the assignments and the quiz by the first, okay? We see over here our pages. You're just reading pages 1 through 12, learning all the material from that, and then going and doing that coursework. You see, then we move on to week 2, which is June 6th or 2nd through 6th. We are doing body organization and musculoskeletal system. You can see there that we skip chapter 3. We will be skipping several chapters in the book, and just kind of focusing on what I feel is most important as a kinesiology major. You see all the material for chapter 2 is due on the 6th, and chapter 4 is due on the 8th. You can also see the readings over here. And I have sectioned out for these subsequent chapters, such as reading page 22 and then skipping to page 29 through 34 and then skipping to page 38. Okay, so please pay attention to those pages that you need to read, how they will correspond with the assignments and the quizzes, etc. Okay. Next, you see your first exam is on the 9th. It will be over chapter 1, 2, and 4, and then you move on, and then you can see and see and see, okay? So I will not continue to read the syllabus to you. You can read it. You can figure out what is due and when. Please put all these dates in your calendar or in your phone so you know what is due and when, okay? All right, so let's go back to Blackboard now that we've looked at our syllabus and looked at our schedule, okay? So let me get back to where we'll pick up looking at how you can kind of do everything. Okay. Sorry, it took us right back to where we were just a second ago. Okay. All right, so here's your schedule at a glance. So you don't have to go into the syllabus document every single time. You need to glance at the schedule. It is right here on the second little click, course, syllabus, and schedule right there, okay? Instructor information, I am right here. Please email me with any questions you have or if you would like to set up a Zoom appointment. And then skip down here to week 1. All right, so every week we have objectives. For week 1, you just have 1 chapter to do, and it's this introduction to medical terminology. So you will watch little weekly overview video and then begin reviewing the PowerPoint slides for each one, okay? So this here, after completing chapter 1, what will you be able to do? So you can see here, discuss the word parts, recognize roots, combining terms, prefix, suffix, etc. You can see our due dates, kind of what you have to do for this first week 1. What you have to read, review the slides, the completion assignments, and that quiz, okay? So for every week that you click on, you'll have a folder here. So this folder has, first is the PowerPoint. PowerPoint downloaded from here rather than from Pearson because I have edited these PowerPoint slides and I have taken out slides that you do not need to study, okay? So click on what I have provided for you in Blackboard. And then I have set up, these are your assignments. For each chapter, you may have fewer assignments or you may have more assignments, okay? Just remember, they are all just completion. You just have to do every single one, okay? You just have to do it to get your grade. So there are lots of clicks. So as you click on word surgery for that one, and then it says to open Pearson. And so then you open Pearson. And then it will prompt you. And once you're registered and everything, it will prompt you and it will show you this game. So chapter 1 game, word surgery. And then you have another click, which right here says to get started. You click on this get started and it should open, or you click it here. Again, another click. I know, such a hassle. But then here our game will start. And then you start your game. All right. So this is a way after you have learned all of these words, learned all these different parts, you'll be able to, complete these assignments, right? Okay. You'll do the same thing. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't have gone all the way back. You'll do the same thing for every single one of these assignments, but please read the chapter and do and review the PowerPoint first, learn the words before you actually start the games. But the games are great because you can do them more than once to practice, okay? So you need the practice because every week you have 1 to 2 quizzes. This first one, you just have this one quiz right here that you will start. It's through Pearson. You click on it and it will take you to Pearson and you will answer those quiz questions, okay? Great. Then you'll move on. Right now, I don't have them blocked off, but I will. I'm just here to kind of show you. They will open as we get to each week. Right now, they're all open just so you can see them, but I'll have some of them closed so you can't move forward. But you will review your next week. And then here again, your chapter 2 in this folder, you have the PowerPoint, and then you have 5 games here for you to practice learning all of these words. And then we go back, you have your quiz. And then you have your other chapter right here for chapter 4 and so on, okay? So I will have little videos for each of these chapters or each of these weeks just to kind of move you through. This is just our big video to kind of understand the totality of the course and everything that you need to do in order to be successful. But going back to this homepage, like I said, most important, get yourself registered first before you try to do anything else because it won't let you. Pay for your subscription to the My Terminology Lab and the eText, and then you will have access to everything, okay? You'll see me again in my next video, but good luck getting started, and we'll kind of catch up as we move forward through the weeks, okay? Great. We'll see you soon.